Hey guys, Evan Williams here with Hoyt Archery. We are out getting some reps in with my AX-2. I'm actually shooting the 29-inch right now. Wanted to go with something a little more compact. I haven't shot a short axle in a while. And one thing I really like about this is just the maneuverability. There is all kinds of wonderful engineering features. But doing a lot of spawn stock hunting, my daughter getting into hunting with me, I've actually started doing a lot of blind hunting. So having that shorter axle is extremely important, especially in those tight quarters when I've got my daughter, my wife, trying to run a camera. So one of the unique features that I really like is this new Gen 4 cam. We've got 5 different modules that cover a shorter draw length range. So every position in 1/4 inch increments is optimized for speed and efficiency. The other thing that allows me to do is, one, I don't need a press, but there's so much I can do with this cam and module system. Our mod feet, the way I've got it set up right now is I'm actually running 80%. You know, a lot of guys like an 85, they like less holding weight. That way they can hold longer. I like a little bit more holding weight on the back end. You can even go down to 75% if you like. And the other thing I've done with this setup is I've actually moved my modules from the top to the bottom and flipped them. So I'm actually shooting this in the hard wall position instead of the extra hard. And what I find is that just allows me to relax a little bit more in my shot. Especially running a hinge setup. From a mind-muscle connection, it allows me to really relax that forearm and relax the hand position as I get through my shot. You know, mornings like this where it's a little muggy actually for, you know, a high desert climate. The Vital Point grip, it's got a special material. It's a proprietary brand that we worked with a couple years ago. And what it actually does is, as it gets any kind of moisture on it, so whether that's, you know, the mugginess, the moisture that's in the air, if you're getting any kind of rain, if you're hunting late season, you're in the snow, or it's really hot and you're sweating, when these 3 panels get any kind of moisture on them, it actually increases the amount of tackiness or almost a stickiness. So especially when it's really hot or wet, instead of getting a lot of slide, you actually sink in and create a better point of contact with the bow. Just one of those nice, unique features that I really like on all our bows, and especially on the AX-2 series. You know, one of the big benefits with the system we've created with the inline is, I know I don't have a quiver on this setup yet, but if you look at everything from the side and kind of down the pipe, there's nothing extra hanging out. So straight out of the box, you know, we were able to take an additional 1/4 pound out of the AX-2 series models, both the 32 and the 29. So you're lighter straight out of the box. And then with the inline accessories, we're actually able to drop the mass weight down even lower because all the accessories are getting closer to the riser, that central point of the bow. And with the lower stabilizer positions, you know, moving that mass weight down helps the bow settle. So if you've ever picked up a bow and you've drawn back and you're in one of those situations where the buck or the bull or the bird is coming in really quick and you know it's now or never, and you pull up that bow and you rip it back real quick, there's a lot of quick motions there. You know, it's not every single time in a hunting situation, draw back nice and smooth and just boom, right? There is times where you are picking up and you are ripping. When you have a lot of fast, quick motions like that, that bow doesn't tend to want to settle as quickly when you're coming onto target to get that shot off. But with the cam and the riser and the way this entire bow, this system works together, this bow, even in those situations, what I found when I'm drawing faster is everything comes up and it locks onto target so much quicker. The response of the bow is just incredible. And when it gets on the target, it just sits there. You know, the first couple times shooting this bow, I was amazed at how my pin literally just stops on the spot. If you want to call it parking on it. But I literally sat there and was like, I completely stopped executing my shot because I'm looking at a sight picture and a pin that's not moving, and I always have a little bit of float. Okay. And I wasn't used to seeing that sight picture, so I spent more time admiring what was going on than actually executing my shot. It's the way the geometry of the grip works in position with where the grip sits in the bow and where all that weight is at. So guys, if you haven't shot an Alpha Series bow, you got the 29, you've got the 32. We also have a short draw model that goes 23 to 27 inches for younger growing archers or your wife, girlfriend, significant other. Get them into the sport. Guys, you're not gonna be disappointed with the performance and the way these bows shoot. Get into your local Hoyt dealer, check them out.